What's up, guys? We're back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host Heather C, guest co-host Heather C. This is 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way podcast. We're on season 3, episode 12.
It just won't end.
It has been going on for 12 episodes, and so far we have seen very, very little of Ellie and Victor. It seems like every other week is when we get to see them. So if we're on episode 12, we've probably only seen them 5 times since the season started. So let's talk about what we saw last night. So Victor is still processing the devastation of this hurricane, and we've seen firsthand throughout the scenes how devastating it was. He actually gave us a play-by-play of when the storm hit the house and what his family and his mother and sisters went through. Completely terrifying. The roof was not even on the house, and the walls were missing. There were windows gone. I can't even imagine what type of fear and terror and horror it must be to live through that, thinking that your life could be ending. So on top of that, Ellie is there, and they're trying to rebuild a house, and they're also trying to get used to living together, and the tension is pretty high. We've seen all of their conversations tend to go to a fight or a disagreement, and I think what Victor is going through is enough for anyone to handle emotionally alone. So bringing Ellie into that and then trying to coexist with her, as well as talk about the cheating situation and the bike situation that the other girl bought him. I think it's causing a boiling point, and I'm wondering if this relationship is going to even make it past this storm. I feel like this storm might have blown away with the relationship as well.
No pun intended there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're strong enough. We've seen too many fights and arguments, and they get so heated and they say nasty, nasty things, especially Victor, and it makes me wonder if the relationship is even strong enough to go further.
I'm just going to say something real quick on them, and then we can move on. I just think that they're in two different headspaces right now. I think she's trying to go there, see the man that she loves, and talk about their differences so they can ultimately get married. I think he's living in the moment, and he's like, this is where I live. You get to go back to your nice, bougie-ass place in America. This is my house. This is my reality. And he's trying to process what's happening in front of him. So I think, I'm not going to say she's oblivious to the situation, but I think she's in that mindset where she doesn't see around her. She's just focusing on, well, I'm only here for a short amount of time, and I paid all this money to come here, and I need to talk to you about this, this, and this, and this. And it's kind of like overlooking or overshadowing the situation on what's happening. So this is why they're bumping heads, because they're not in the same headspace. He's not worried about the past. He's not worried about the females and all this other crap. I mean, maybe he is, but at this moment of time, if your roof was falling off and you were under a kitchen cabinet, I don't think that would be important, because you might not have made it. He could have died. So we'll leave it at that, and this is probably a disaster for the end for them.
We're gonna see where it goes. Like I said, I don't have high hopes. It just doesn't seem like there's a strong foundation for that relationship. So let's talk about Ariella and Biniam real quick, because Ariella's mom went to Kenya, and she is very present on this trip. She actually took Biniam out with his sister, and they discussed what the concerns were. And the concerns were a lot of people in and out of the house. And then Biniam explained that the house was actually converted into a recording studio, which was being rented out to different people, which does explain all the people going in and out. So that made sense. But this shows you that the communication in this relationship is bad, because that should have been something that Biniam could have told Ariella as it happened. And none of this blowing up and fighting and arguing and feeling of being lied to should have taken place. And Biniam also admitted to Ariella's mother that he does lie to Ariella about where he is and what he's doing to avoid fights. Not because he's cheating on her, which he completely denies as ever taking place, but he doesn't like to fight, and he likes to hang with friends and party and club. Right. And Ariella doesn't like that. So I think that the communication there is none. Because these are things that they could have handled. Her mother should have never needed to be a mediator when they're both grown adults who can have a conversation with each other.
I don't think the mom should be there at all. I think that was like being very nosy and kind of like pushy. But I will say this, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, ugh, why? I actually am team Ariel, because I like her. And I like her because, even though America is just kind of attacking her for all these different things, I don't really feel that way. I feel that Biniam is actually in the wrong. There's something that he is doing where he can't keep his family or relationships. Having house parties and turning your house that you have with your son and your girlfriend, wife, into a recording studio, you're basically saying, thank God she's gone. We're about to live our best lives. Like, that's your sanctuary. That's where you lay your head at night. You don't bring strangers because he's like, oh, we have the music. That anybody could be here. So you want a whole bunch of like skanky people and all this coming into your house where your son sleeps and all that? That should be separated. He's like, to me, there's always something slick about him. Like he, you know, his sisters even butt in and give her a hard time. Now, I'm not saying she's heaven sent or anything like that, but she does love him. She does care about him. And she sacrificed her life to live with him to make her family work so she didn't take his son away. I don't fault her for going to America to get the surgery. I don't fault her for getting her look together and doing her facial surgery or whatever to make herself feel good about herself. I think that she deserves to be happy too. So, take that. I don't care.
I don't even have time to break down all the things I disagreed with there. I'm just going to say a hernia surgery takes 35 to 55 minutes and she was gone for 10 weeks. And I'm just going to leave it there. Okay,
oh, well.
So let's talk about Jenny and Sumit. So now that all outside interception in their relationship has ended, meaning Sumit's parents are no longer inside telling them what to do, and the astrologer has actually given them a 10-day window when they can get married, we now learn that Sumit doesn't want to get married. And I tweeted this last night. I was like, I already knew this. It's interesting that he finally is going to admit that he was using all of these outside things as excuses for how he really feels. Yeah, his mom was a
safety net for his feelings.
And he never had to be the bad guy. And a lot of people in relationships like the idea of never having to be the bad guy. You don't ever have to say anything negative. You'll hide the way you truly feel. You don't hurt the other person's feelings. But in this situation, Jenny has been there for 8 years. Well, not there, but in his life for 8 years. And I feel like
after being catfished.
Yes, he was Michael Jones, guys. Don't forget he was Michael Jones. And she stood by his side this whole time, and I just feel like she deserves to know the truth. If he has no intentions of marrying her, he even went there and started the paperwork, and he's having second thoughts and is thinking about stopping the paperwork. Please tell her the truth. She deserves it. She has been there for you. You were married. Your ex's parents came and took you away from the house. Like, there's so much she's been through. Just give her the benefit of the truth and honesty.
I mean, at this point, does it even matter? I mean, like, he doesn't seem like he ever wants to leave where they live. His parents are there. You know what I mean? So it's like he literally could have his cake and eat it too. He gets to stay where he lives. He gets to be with his parents. His parents said they'll accept it. He swears up and down she's the one for him or whatever. And marriage and divorce is different. I mean, Jenny isn't going to divorce him. She is like an older woman and she's planning on just staying with him, you know, until the end of time and whatever. So it's something more than that. That makes you realize, like, okay, what is his cold feet? What is his alternative motives? Because what makes it so different?
Well, right. His life wouldn't change from the way they're living now.
Exactly.
Being married would just mean they're married. They're basically living together.
She's the main provider. So, right. I mean, what was he going to gain or lose?
It has to be something else. Maybe we're going to find out this season what exactly he's hiding. Because it has to be something stopping him from marrying Jenny. And Jenny just wants to marry him. That's all she wants. And I just wish he would just tell her the truth. Marry her or tell her the truth. She is such a genuinely nice person. She has done nothing but nice things for him. So Sumit, if you can, marry her, and if you don't, let her down easy.
And either way, I'm sure there'll be another season of this, so we can just touch bases with that there.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all that happened last night. That was 90 Day Fiance Season 3, The Other Way, Episode 12. We will be here again next week for Episode 13. Make sure you're live tweeting with us every night. I'll put our Twitters here at the bottom. And thank you so much for joining us. I'm George Mossey. This is my special co-host, Heather C. And we will see you all real soon. Thanks. See you guys later.
Bye.